You carnivores are just like the vegans saying you did it wrong. You did it wrong. You guys are cultic. Let's get something straight here. Okay. This has become a very pressing issue. I keep receiving this comment here and there consistently. Let's get something really, really, really straight. When someone says this to you, oh, you're a cult member because you say that someone may not have to completely abandon the carnivore diet and probably shouldn't and definitely shouldn't actually because they had some problems on it. Next time someone says that to you, ask them what diet they advocate for. Then when they tell you, say, okay, so what happens when someone's having problems on that diet? What would you tell them? And if they are to say, oh, well, maybe up their fat, or maybe do this, or maybe do that, don't abandon it, call them out on their hypocrisy. Or whenever they say, oh, well, maybe they're under eating, like we're saying, say, oh, you absolute f***ing cultic hole. Okay, I mean, there's obviously very, very, very many possibilities as to what they say. If you ask them what diet they advocate for, they might say, oh, well, any diet under the sun, whatever works for them. In which case you can ask them, well, does any animal on the face of the planet do that? Or if they give their diet and then you say, well, what would you say to that person if they're having, if they're having problems, to say, if they respond and say, oh, well, to abandon it, basically, do whatever the hell they want. I mean, at that point, you can respond the exact same way that I just said to respond to the previous response, which is, seriously? That's your solution? Really? Abandon it. Throw your hands up in the air and say, yeah, it just doesn't work. There's a slew of different diets that work for everyone. It's ridiculous. What makes vegans cult members is that, first of all, it's based on a flawed moral framework. And if you leave that movement, you are looked at literally as a bad person, therefore. You are looked at as immoral. You are looked at as genocidal. You were looked at as complicit in a Holocaust. That is far different than is what is happening right now in the carnivore space, which is telling people, hey, you might want to, reconsider because you might be doing this wrong, like under eating, which you can literally do on any diet to cause problems. So just want to get that out of the way. We're not cultic here in this space. In fact, we treat people with some of the most respect that you'll see in the entire health space online. And not even just online, but in the real world, in the material world as well. Because we insist upon the proper employment and adherence to the Hippocratic Oath. If someone is not presenting with symptoms and or is not presenting with any identifiable disease process, you're obligated to not intervene as anybody, a clinician, a coach, a physician. Okay? That is an ultimate code of ethics here. As well as employing innocent until proven guilty, meaning that if someone is expressing a problem, you believe them. If there's no reason to not believe them, you believe them. If there is reason to not believe them, it doesn't mean that they're lying this time or misinterpreting what's going on this time. And therefore, but still, I mean, keep that in mind. Be, prudent and be reflective of the past, absolutely. But that is those two principles are what we employ regularly and what we implore others to do as well, to employ as well. And so to say that we're cult members for that is ridiculous. People do not understand what the distinction between a group and a group and a cult. They do not understand that. Not every group is a cult. That is not how that works. That doesn't make any sense. If everything's a cult, then nothing's a cult. If everything's beautiful, nothing is beautiful. If everything's blank, then nothing is blank. Okay, words matter, definitions matter. So, anyway, just a quick little public service announcement there. And you know what? Speaking of coaches, by the way, because there's plenty of people online that are coaches that are calling us these things. Oh, they're cult leaders, carnivores. If you are someone that is seeking an education specifically for carnivore and diet and nutrition that is tens of thousands fold better than what you will get in university for an incomprehensibly small fraction of the price, with an additional deal on top of that going through until January, that is valid until January, that is continuing to evolve with more recruitments from coaches like Coach Stephen Thomas, Coach Richard Smith, with multiple modules from myself as well, with lifetime access to that material that gets you internationally accredited through major institutions like the National Academy of Sports Medicine and the Athletics and Fitness Association of America, that allows you to also ask personalized questions before embarking upon that program for free, that also allows you, once you're in the program, if you intelligently join to be a member of this program, to have free consultations with me as well. If you're interested in any of that whatsoever, which, I mean, this is a no-brainer. This deal is a no-brainer. How else could we make this better for you? Refer to the links in the description below to get a hold of Coach Peter, who runs this program, by the way, who's been coaching clients for over 20 years and has decided to take a break from that to pursue coaching coaches through this program, because we need to increase the supply of the coaches that actually know what they're talking about, that can combat the other coaches that literally are called coaches because they said so. Legally, that's all they have requirements for. If you're internationally accredited, you're able to speak with the medical professionals of your clientele more directly, and you're more easily able to acquire insurance. These are very important things. And also, this is a perfect opportunity for you to spread the message of carnivore to help other people, like you may have helped yourself, or if you've seen others help themselves with this diet. This is a perfect opportunity for you to do that, because if you've seen what carnivore can do and you truly believe in it, therefore, you have a moral obligation to share it. Maybe not through these means, totally understandable. However, we are offering you this method. And so just want to finalize that there, because these people are continuing to discredit us or attempt to, to cast aspersions by calling us cult members because we only eat meat, bruh. Meh. And if you leave, they'll never leave you be. Lies. They are lying to you. Okay? Okay. So, with that being said, we're not cult members. And if you are, don't do it. Stop today. If you're a cult member, join veganism. But with that being said, if you enjoyed, leave a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. And also buy my book, Contrainidicated, if you want to learn more about how I think, what I think, how I arrived at this way of thinking, my story specifically, which is very rarely actually talked about in my public material. And also, if you haven't binged that public material, which is like a week's worth, if not more now, of free material, then go ahead. It's waiting for you in order to enhance your knowledge of biochemistry, human nutrition science, statistics in general, statistical inference, cellular biology a bit, evolutionary biology, whatever it may be. So with that being said, join me next time whenever we're clearing some things up that need to be cleared, clearing the air a bit, because, well, that needs to happen sometimes. We cannot let our word, do not give them an inch. We cannot let our words be misrepresented. We cannot afford to be misrepresented as a nascent, incipient, inchoate coterie. There you go. There's your assignment. Look those words up. So, till then.